to the second day of the bracket stage for the World Cup 2025. Round of 32. I'm Subaru Rima, and this time I will be joined by Ampy for this particularly close match on paper. How you doing?
Yeah, good. So yeah, we do have seed 16 versus seed 17. So certainly the expectation is that this will be a banger match.
Yeah, on paper looking like the closest one, indeed. And so far, the closer matches seeding-wise have delivered, especially the one opposing Finland to the Philippines. That went all the way to tiebreaker, which I had the immense pleasure of casting yesterday. I'm really hoping for something similar to happen today between these two teams, Spain and Indonesia. Very, very close out of qualifiers, and both having very notable standout performances, most notably Spain in the qualifiers, really having one player in particular popping off, that being Estrupilio, being number 5 overall in the qualifiers. And I believe on the side of Indonesia, the top performer for them was that new guy. And
Yes,
I believe
you would be correct.
he was somewhere around the top 40, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, Spain could be winning the rolls right here.
Yeah, we were actually talking about like who we were leaning on, like betting on in this match, and it's really, really hard to call because basically you got one team with one superstar standout player and another team with very similar performances, but based off more of a team effort and team consistency. So it's really hard to call. As we are getting into this.
Yeah, as we get into bans, all right, will be Spain taking second ban here. Spain, I would definitely see them banning Hidden 2. I mean,
yeah, something around
qualifiers. That was definitely a weakness of theirs, and I don't really think that's an outlier. Don't really have players that are renowned for OAR. Meanwhile, in Indonesia's side, I would expect them to ban something mechanics related. Maybe like a DT2, one of the DTs, no mod 5, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see, and there it is, the DT3 ban, unfortunately. We won't be seeing this banger map in this matchup. Oh well, we haven't seen it quite a few times already this weekend, but it's interesting to note that Indonesia's team in 4-digit range is in sharp contrast in their strengths with the OWC team, because you usually would never see Indonesia banning anything DT related, as it's kind of the bread and butter, has been for the past few years now. But in the 4-digit range...
It's going to be a Nomad 4 ban, actually. Yeah,
a
lot of people not particularly liking that map. It's a algo, very unintuitive to play map, so maybe not wanting to deal with that.
Yeah, I have noted quite a few players not necessarily complaining, but not feeling comfortable about this map, and rather not picking it or straight up banning it like today. So...
I mean, that does leave up both hidden, so maybe they know something we don't, or maybe you can't ban all the maps you want to ban. We'll
yeah, I
see.
definitely would agree with this. I'm a bit puzzled by not seeing a hidden ban, but oh well. I mean, it is an earlier stage. The maps are very different from the qualifiers. We might see something different happening. But with the first pick, I definitely think Indonesia wants to orientate around those hidden maps. Maybe a free mod as well. Indonesia is a pretty solid free mod team.
You might want to keep in mind they do have Fa or Fanzen, and they might pull some crazy stuff on easy, looking at free mod 1 or free mod 3. Only time will tell.
Yeah, that is a very good point. The easy multipliers definitely playing in the hands of a few teams in this tournament so far. When you have this really dominant easy specialist, you really want to take advantage of that on the free mod pulls. Waiting on Indonesia's first pick so far. Despite the hiddens being open, Spain still has quite a few options to get in good, like, one-sided points, I believe, most notably, like you did mention earlier, around the mechanics. The 2 DTs that are still open, and most of the no-mod pool should be playing into Spain's strength. As we wait on Indonesia's first pick, maybe speculate on what kind of strategies do you think Indonesia is going to go? Yeah, it is a hidden one.
Hidden one? Yeah, this hidden one, it's going to be some light tech, flow aim at 170 BPM. And I would say it's one of the most tricky maps in this pool. Haven't really seen... I don't even know if there's been any FCs on this so far. So definitely picking into one of the more niche skill sets in the pool.
I believe there were FCs, but very few of them. And as you did mention, one of the trickier maps, I definitely agree with that. It is also one of the longer ones in this map pool, so starting your match off with that really will show the difference in comfort between these two teams on that kind of skill set. I think it's a good first pick for Indonesia.
Yeah, I agree. They got plenty of good players, specifically on the hidden. Like my mind thinks of Rosami Lovelock, or maybe better known as Rexies.
Fuma also very performant historically, being a mainstay in those hidden rosters for Indonesia, both for WC and OWC, so pretty strong player. And I think also, if you're Indonesia, you just want to pick around Esrupilio's weaker skill sets. And being really
and
by
for
far the
sure
standout
those
player.
are gonna be the maps in hidden on the Loyar. Everything else, Esrupilio can kind of put up a superstar performance. You might be a little scared of that.
You called it there as Rosami Lovelock entering the lobby. So I think those players are set and ready to go into this first map. I am sincerely hoping we get to see as close of a match as possible between these two teams. And it is early
commentators,
stage.
we're always cheering for a tiebreaker.
What's hard to call in this match is that it is early stage, and I would probably favor Indonesia in this matchup more towards a later stage map pool, but this is really based off early consistency, and anything could happen, basically. Seeding-wise, they were very close on a harder map pool in theory, so let's see. It looks like Blank Tap is going to step in for this one. Has been really putting out great performances.
Also loved commentator.
Yeah,
he's also a pretty good player. Just put him on anything that's not tapping. He'll be a very good fill. I think we'll be seeing that for the remainder of the match.
Yeah, he's actually been popping up for like the past year or so as a player. Like, I believe he was seeded second place in the Indonesian tournament last year, so very, very strong performances on Blank Tap, and I'm looking forward to see if he'll carry his team on this first pick. Here we go, very first map.
Yeah, this one has a bit of a slow intro. Gives some time to shake off the first map nerves.
So far on the accuracy, some players seem to be struggling a little bit in the intro, most notably Salt and Honey and Blank Tap on the side of Indonesia. Fuma being the only one maintaining this 99 plus accuracy on the side of Indonesia. Like you said, it's just a bit of a slower start. When we reach the 400 combo mark, it's going to spice up a little bit. That's when we might see the first drops. Cut streams, everybody getting through. The accuracy is just dropping more and more for players on the side of Indonesia, though, which amounts to about a 30k lead in the favor of Spain.
Yeah, of course, initial lead going to Spain here, but a single break will change everything in an instant. Not a huge lead in the grand scheme of things, but it does seem that whole lobby is pretty comfortable on this, already hitting a decent amount of the tricky flow and patterns here. 700 combo, everyone's unscathed.
No misses to be found in the first quarter, and not the first third now, actually. This is really just an accuracy battle right now. And the lead is shrinking slowly but surely based off a few hundred drops on the side of Spain, but really the major change is going to be the first drop, so we're kind of just waiting on that, and we're going to reach the halfway point, and still nobody missing on this map.
Yeah, pretty impressive performances from the players already, but this is making the situation more and more tense by the moment, because we do approach that halfway mark where it's just so devastating. You get so score capped if you miss here.
Yeah, we hit this halfway mark and still nobody to miss. I definitely would think that somebody would have missed right by now. Like, this is not an easy map by any means. But so far, everybody just impeccably getting through.
First miss here from Badooba. And another chain miss, a trade from Baby Scylla.
Baby Scylla trading it. This was a bigger chain miss on this side of Indonesia, though. And Fuma now also with combo. We said, oh my god, three misses on each team. Now it's now a 1-on-1 battle between Vajir McQueen and Itwi Kukuro. That's not an easy one to say. But so far, the lead is just basically being maintained. That one full combo on the side of Spain, and the Majora Queen misses now. Devastating for Indonesia on the first pick. Now they're just hoping for a miss, or a series of chain misses, and multiple players miss on the side of Spain actually, which decreases the score lead a little bit. But we reach a 3-quarter mark and still 1 FC to none on the side of Spain, and that's the only difference maker, as everybody has basically been trading misses. Man, you hate to see it on the first pick. Not going exactly as they planned, but there's still a quarter to go. It's not.
Oh my. Ito almost missing on the first note after the break, but does manage to save it here. And if he keeps going, all the power's in his hands. Nothing Indonesia can really do about this very beautiful FC right here.
Yeah, he did sacrifice a bit of accuracy to maintain his combo, as you said, but the combo is what matters and is what is carrying his team to potentially the first break point of the match. And oh, a double miss.
Does find the miss, does kind of blunder the FC, but the damage has been done, and that is the point firmly secured for Spain.
Despite Pelotix missing, I don't think Majora Queen is enough combo or enough time in the map to bring this back. It's a pretty massive lead on the side of Spain. Unfortunately, this first pick for Indonesia not working out at all. It's pretty similar performances across the board. It's just that one big combo difference on the side of Spain being the big difference maker. It's only a 100k lead, but enough to take the first break point, and now Spain with the opportunity to take the 2-0 lead with their own pick to come. You got to think they're going to turn around something like DT2.
Yeah, surely just try to consolidate the break point here on a very solid pick of their own. That being said, we did just see what happened to Indonesia here. That the picks you think are secure may not turn out to be so, especially on a pool that's early stage as this one.
You also just like to see it because we did mention the standout performance of Escapulio, but really, like, him not even being in the lobby and still his team manages to pull off the
team pulled up.
Point. Yeah, so it's really big team effort here. I mean, you're not seed 16 for nothing, right? Like, that's not just one player. Now, I gotta think Spain goes for something more mechanics-oriented. We have seen the Nomad 2 being picked quite a few times as well. DT2 being picked. Most of those tapping picks have been quite popular this weekend so far. I wonder if Spain would want to go free mod, though. I think that's more of an Indonesian route.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because, all right, here's the Nomad 2. It's going to be some rhythm game art core. And this is basically our pure stamina check in the pool. 200 BPM. Some pretty lengthy streams for this star rating standard.
Yeah, this is very straightforward. No big surprises in this map.
Yeah, if you've played a CMOD map before, then you know what to expect.
Yeah, so far this weekend, we have seen this map being picked quite a few times. It's been quite popular, but also we have seen quite a few, I wouldn't want to say bad, but semi-underwhelming scores on this map, because it is arguably one of the easier maps in the map pool, but you'll often find those very high accuracies on multiple players in the lobby, but it leads to more pressure and misses you kind of want to avoid. So not the safest first pick in my opinion, but I definitely would say Spain looks at least on paper favored on this map. And we are going to see Escapulio step into this one. Actually, only one roster change on the side of Indonesia, with Puma stepping out and Rosmi Lovelock stepping back in. Rosmi Lovelock, of course, being one of the main tapping players for Indonesia, so very logical roster swap. I think it's only one roster shift on this side of Spain as well, so it really shows you who's going to be more of a core player on each side. The Luxor dropped in the chat, so we're just about ready to go. Second map in the match so far. Spain up by 1 breakpoint, trying to confirm it with their own pick. I'm really curious to see what Indonesia can do on this map because, as we did mention earlier, historically, not necessarily in this range, but Indonesia has had quite a few players who are quite strong on tapping, so despite it looking pretty Spain favored on paper based off the qualifiers performance, I definitely wouldn't sleep on Indonesia on such a map.
I mean, I'd hesitate to count anyone out on this map because I think basically every team has at least 4 players that are capable of FCing. It's just a matter of if you actually do it in the match or not.
Here we go. Reasonably could expect a lot of FCs. Blank tap once again, finding an early accuracy drop. Just a matter of getting really in sync with the rhythm of the map. Seems to be adjusting just fine right now.
Ooh,
quite a few as I said that.
But holds on to the combo, so it's all fine for now. Oh, it's the first break from Ito. The carry for the previous map trades with blank tap.
Yeah, traded by a slider break from blank tap, and no big accuracy losses on the side of Spain so far, so it's going to stay in their favor just slightly. It is flickering, but accuracy drops are going to keep it slightly in the favor of Spain. Nothing major though, apart from these traded misses.
Oh, another break from Ito. And that'll start to swing things in the favor of Indonesia relatively quickly.
Yeah, blank tap recovery doing the job. 3 of season 3, so now Spain hoping for a miss on the side of Indonesia if they want to come back into their own pick. Actually, the accuracy drops though.
A lot of concerning act drops from Indonesia, but no breaks at that moment.
That is quite concerning because it's quote-unquote only 200 BPM. Like, it's pretty reasonably affordable
yeah,
for most
and
players.
We're also getting into the most intense part here. And there's still everything to play for. An absolutely minuscule score lead for Indonesia that could dissipate in a single break.
Velodex dropping a bit of accuracy though. Still very close. Ito dropping once again. That's just going to be the difference maker as blank tap has beautifully recovered now, and all the other FCs are holding so far in Indonesia. It's only 1 quarter left, and Spain is doing great, but Indonesia just not letting go any of their combos.
And yeah, the map starts to wind down here, so it looks like they have this one pretty safely in the bag.
They're actually going to get one of the higher scores we've seen on this map if this keeps going. 3 FCs and blank tap with basically just a reverse choke. Dropped a bit of accuracy, but not going to matter. 3-way full combo for both teams. The only difference between Ito and blank tap just making the entire difference in this scoreline. I think if we had had 4-way FCs, Spain would have taken it based off accuracy alone, but Indonesia holding on to combos and a beautiful 99% on Salt and Honey. And just like that,
even if it was just on accuracy, it would have been incredibly close. But anyway, that's just a hypothetical. We are now tied up once again, 1-1, returning to Indonesia's pick.
Yeah, breakpoint taken right back, and I wonder if Indonesia is going to try hidden 2 now that they lost a hidden 1. It was pretty close, but still.
I mean,
it's a very different map.
I think the kind of map is significantly different. That I think you shouldn't be spooked just because you lost on a different hidden when the map style is like very much in contrast to the mirror hidden 1.
So far, this match is
alternatively,
looking...
like you floated, they can try like a free mod angle if they want to, you know, give the hidden a rest for a few maps.
Yeah, bank on the easy multiplier. And it is going to be hidden 2 actually, so going hidden route all the way, following what the qualifiers indicated. Didn't work out quite well on the hidden 1. Hopefully will be a bit more of a solution on the hidden 2 for Indonesia. And so far this match, is looking in sharp contrast with the other closer match seeding-wise. Because in the other match, Finland versus Philippines, basically both teams were taking all of their picks in a very dominant fashion. And this time, so far, we have a 100% rate of breakpoints.
Oh, those sorts of matches are always fun to watch or entertaining. But yeah, as we get into this hidden 2, as you'll expect, it'll be some hidden low AR. In particular, is an AR edit down to AR 7.5, which is just going to add that extra bit of discomfort for anyone who doesn't regularly play the skill set. As for the map itself, it's going to be kind of KTG Stir-esque alt style that I think most players are going to be very, tourney players in particular, are going to be very familiar with.
Yeah, this is another one of those trickier maps in the map pool. We did mention the hidden will be significantly harder than some other maps. It's looking like the hidden 2 pick is not going through the ref just so efficiently, but it has been picked by Indonesia. We are going to see it very shortly. You got to expect a very similar roster from what we saw in the hidden 1 from both teams. So maybe theoretically no Escapulio on this one.
Yeah, this map is probably going to be Escapulio's Achilles heel, so to speak. But we saw Spain did get their point without their superstar carry-in on that hidden 1, so who's to say they cannot do it again?
Yeah, Ito was the one to put on the carry shoes. We'll see if he can do it again, but looks like this time the rosters are instantly ready with some changes compared to the hidden 1.
Oh yeah, you know for a fact we're going to see Fanshan in, expecting great things out of him. This is his bread and butter.
Definitely his most dominant skill set.
Actually, we do have Escapulio in. Interesting. Maybe he's been putting on the hidden 2 grind.
Well, definitely
we'll see very shortly.
Definitely he is the most experienced player on the roster, and that tends to help in like trickier skill sets in general, even if you're not a specialist. Here we go to this particularly tricky map. I'm glad to see it, though. We haven't seen it that much so far this weekend. Nothing major to signal.
Does seem to be a banjo break from Escapulio. Okay, I don't know if that one was a banjo break, though.
I don't think so.
So initial lead will go over to Indonesia here. Another break from Rumpel. And things are already looking not so good for the Spanish side here.
Yeah, a couple of accuracy drops as well. So look at the accuracy on Ito. At least one of them is feeling very comfortable so far. Not out of the woods yet for Indonesia. They are so far holding very strongly on this 4-way FC. The accuracies are also very decent. Oh, double miss though, Fawn blank tap.
So that'll stop their advance, and that's pretty important because this is one of the more manageable parts. The difficulty of this map does really ramp up towards the ending. So whoever holds a good combo here is going to be very handsomely rewarded.
Lodix and Rumpel just not having a good time. Ito as well dropping, so now it's 2 FCs to nothing on the side of Spain, apart from that recovery on Escapulio. Son Honey and Rosemary Lovelock still holding beautifully, and Son Honey now reaching that 99% accuracy. So a bit more breathing room on the side of Indonesia now, and you got to start feeling hopeful for the second pick working out for them.
And yeah, but Sultan Honey and Rexy's, both players pretty well renowned for their hidden, so wouldn't count on them breaking anytime soon, especially on this slightly less intense section.
We're a bit concerned with that double miss on Fawn blank tap, but even they have beautifully recovered, so it is 450k difference now, so only growing. I think Indonesia is safe, has this one in the bag. More misses on the side.
I want to give a shout to Escapulio, who we thought he wouldn't even be in, but he's poised to top score his team, but it doesn't look like it's gonna matter all too much, unfortunately. 3-way break on Spain, and Rexy's is still going at it.
Rexy is the experienced player. I think he's the oldest player on this roster. Has played even OWC for quite a few years now for Indonesia. Very experienced player, and it looks like he's gonna secure the FC on this hidden 2. That is very notable. We haven't seen a lot of teams play this map, and definitely not a lot of SCs. So very, very good score on him, and a million score difference between these two teams. So a A breath of fresh air for Indonesia as they confirm this second point on their own pick, ending the breakpoint streak. I think if you're Spain, you're not too concerned about this. This was on paper the most one-sided skill set in this map pool towards one team, so Spain might want to try one more tapping map. Hasn't gone too well. It was relatively close on Nomad 2, so maybe something like DT2 or Nomad 5 could work out for them. Waiting on Spain.
I mean, alternatively, if they're not feeling so good about the tapping after Nomad 2, there's plenty of other angles that are thus far unexplored in this match. I mean, you see those hard rocks, no interaction with the hard rocks, a lot of aim still up, so whole world's open to them, whatever they want.
Yeah, the aim is very close between these two teams if you look at the qualifiers. So Spain did get a better score on Nomad 1, but on Hard Rock 1, it was very, very close. They were respectively 9th and 10th on the map, so only a 30k difference. I'm not sure Hard Rock is such a good idea for Spain. Maybe something around the Nomad pool might work out for them. Spain taking their time. It is going to be the DT2, so they are sticking with the tapping route so far. Hoping that something similar can happen for them than what happened for Indonesia, of like losing your first pick but then getting it back together on your second pick and winning it in a very convincing fashion. This is one of the super maps though, so you don't want to find early misses. It can snowball rapidly into a big lead.
But yeah, even though you'd put this under the same, I guess, tapping umbrella as Nomad 2, you do have a whole like 50 BPM higher and much shorter bursts as opposed to actual streams. So I don't know, sometimes people underestimate it. It is a very different skill set, in my opinion.
We have seen a lot of very high scores. I think the highest score we've seen so far was Philippines yesterday, picking it and four-waying it with a 4.5 million score. I would be very surprised to see one of those two teams beat that score. It seems very unlikely to me, but
I mean, it's always going to be hard to beat a four-way FC, no matter how easy the map is.
But I'm open-minded to see some change and being proved wrong by these two teams. Some changes on the side of Indonesia. It looks like Blank Tap is going to step out for the first time.
Yeah, Blank Tap not really a fan of the raw speed, but I mean, I would trust this Indonesia roster. I don't immediately have any problems with the players. Anyway, we're also going to see the debut of Junamat, or formerly known as Manolo, in this match. Pretty known to be competent on the speed, so everything looking fine for both teams so far, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Manolo being one of those 4 players on the Spain OWC team, so reassuring presence to have on the side of Spain, alongside Escaprillo and Pelodex. Also playing a lot of maps in this match, and the return of Baby Stella for this map. Honestly, looking at these rosters, I can't really call who's going to take it. We'll be rapidly fixed with an answer. Very short map, so you got to stick it in right away. Get the tapping fingers working. So far, very slight lead on the side of Indonesia based off accuracy alone.
Yeah, Paladex a little bit lower in the accuracy, but still seeming to hold the FC just fine.
Still 299s on this side of Spain. Stabilizing. Everybody getting in the map so far. We have seen a lot of FCs this weekend on this map and a lot of very high scores. I wouldn't be surprised.
Everyone is too good at speed in the big 25.
Yeah, speed is such a widely spread skill set. You'll find it everywhere. So people tend to grind it. And it does show, as you do see a lot of very high scores, especially in those early stage DT2s. So far, still the 8-way, a third way through the map, and no break to be found. This is very tense as the accuracy is still slightly in the favor of Indonesia, so Spain cannot rely on accuracy alone, at least not so far. They want a miss, at least one miss, but it's going to be Plodex dropping first. That's very unfortunate
That's
for Spain
right,
now.
right at a halfway point. So
yeah, that's the
if
worst spot.
Indonesia do not return the favor sometime soon, then it's looking pretty bleak for Spain.
They're going to see it at the break. It's only one miss on the side of Spain, but no misses to be found on the side of Indonesia. Both, like all 4 players holding, and 2 of them with higher than 99 accuracy. And the Spanish players are doing everything they can. Danilo and Escapilio with very high accuracy as well, but as long as Indonesia holds, they're going to be okay. Bit of accuracy drops on Majora McQueen. Reaching last quarter.
I'm tempted to say they've done enough to win the point here, barring any multiple members meltdown.
Yeah, they have to miss at least twice. I think they're gonna take this.
I mean, they might just quad FC at this rate.
Are we gonna see another quad FC in the weekend? Manolo
There's
missing as
from
well.
Manolo,
That
very inconsequential at this point.
Now we're gonna see it. Are they gonna take over and beat Philippines?
There's nothing left in the map. I think they've done it. Oh my.
It's gonna be very close. I don't know if they're gonna beat Philippines score. It is very close. I want to check that real quick, see if they took it. But my God, another 4-way FC on this map. Are you kidding me?
But yeah, Spain letting up yet another breakpoint here. And I don't even want to call this a mispick because look at their scores. I mean, they practically have 3 FCs, pretty solid 4th. But what can you do?
Yeah, it's a very solid team score for Spain. Just like exactly what can you do when your opponent 4-ways the map with very high accuracy? And maybe top scores the map. I'm not quite sure yet. Let me check. So they're about 20k short of top scoring. Philippines had a little bit better accuracy overall. But still, that is really impressive as a score for Indonesia. Taking the breakpoint opportunity to stretch this to 4-1 lead with their own pick to come.
But yeah, Indonesia now with all the momentum, all 3 of their points scored in a row, looking to make that a 4th. So far, they've just picked down the hiddens. If you want to keep playing hidden, one of those free mods might be rather appealing.
Yeah, you got to look at those free mods, and you got to love the early stage consistency on the side of Indonesia. They had a bit of a shaky start on their own pick, hidden one, but rapidly got into their game, and like they're following up with multiple really high team scores. We had an FC on hidden 2, now the 4-way on DT2. Like they're looking really, really strong. I'm not sure how Spain is going to retaliate. When your opponent is playing that well, it can affect your mental on the long run. And actually, it's going to be no mod 5, so Indonesia taking the tapping route. So this is more of a rhythm map, but there are tapping elements as well. Maybe feeling a boost of confidence after taking DT2 with a 4-way.
I'm sure that was part of the calculations. But yeah, as you mentioned, this isn't really your typical No Mod 5. Definitely has those bursts involved, but then a lot more of a density aspect to this one as well. So I wouldn't think of it as a speed map. I think of it just more as a fast map in general.
Yeah, this is a very interesting pick. I wonder if Indonesia planned on going for that map from the start, or if they're just shifting their strategy, seeing how dominant they were on DT2.
I mean, in this position, you can try to experiment a little bit, because they know for sure they're still going to be in a good spot, even if this goes south.
I mean, this is a best of 9, so things can swing rapidly, though.
That is true.
They're up 3-1, but think about it. If they lose this map, that's the opportunity for Spain with their next pick to come to tie it up 3-3. So what might seem like a dominant scoreline might also swing very quickly. I think we're going to see very similar rosters on both sides. We see you in the map, Escapilio, Baby Silla, and Melodic staying all in. So no roster changes on the side of Spain. And you gotta expect that it will be a similar story on the side of Indonesia.
One kind of interesting aspect I wanted to outline is that we haven't seen that noob guy yet, but there he is.
Yeah, and he was their top performer in the qualifiers.
Yeah, exactly. But they've been, both teams have been picking like exactly the opposite of his skill set, but now he will have his chance to shine here.
It's nice to see that the guy finally stepping in. You kind of want him to put on the carry pants and extend that score lead even more for Indonesia. Looks like Jeremy Queen is going to stay in the lobby. Ruma coming back as well, and you gotta think Rexy is going to play this. He eats the side maps for Rexy, so Rexy stepping back in, and on the side of Spain, no roster changes from the previous map. Baby Silla probably going to be a 4-player. There he is. So 4 players on each side. We're ready to go into Indonesia's 3rd pick. I don't think Spain are a team to scoff at on that type of skill set, though. So
I mean,
it's a good.
They were the ones picking the high BPM and the tapping.
Yeah, exactly.
A few maps ago, so definitely something they should have some confidence in.
On paper, this is looking like a good pick for Indonesia when you look at their performances, but definitely not a pick where they're looking to exploit the opponent's weakness. Recurring theme so far, Indonesia has been able to maintain the early accuracy leads in most of these maps.
But yeah, I expect it'll be a hot moment before we see any breaks. I mean, you saw the caliber of speed playing on the previous map, but then also this map does tend to ramp up around the halfway mark.
This has been one of the most popular picks in the weekend so far as well. We have seen a lot of scores and a lot of pretty high scores. Baby Silla is going to be finding the first break, and not on such a hard pattern. Usually tend to see more breaks later in the map. This is going to snowball to a small advantage on the side of Indonesia so far. The accuracy is actually looking pretty good on the side of Spain, all things considered. Still 99%, and well, what used to be an SS, but
with
Rexy is going to be
no luck on that pattern.
Yeah, Rexy's going to be the first one to find a break, and with that beginning of a recovery on the side of Baby Silla, it should slowly start inching back towards the way of Spain now. The accuracy isn't the best on Melodo.
I mean, yeah, Spain is a little bit behind on accuracy. Oh, okay, and there's a break from Manolo.
That's not going to help, as 399 still on the 3 FCs for Indonesia. They're looking pretty good, pretty locked in. Baby Silla is recovering, besting Rexy's recovery, but as long as they have this 1 FC deficit, Spain could not do much. And we have passed the halfway point, and still 3 FCs on the side of Indonesia. They are looking pretty strong, and Baby Silla is going to drop once again, so that's not going to help at all, despite the 2 strong FCs on Spain.
Yeah, definitely getting caught off guard by the 1/3 pattern right there.
Rexy's going to drop once again,
but that's not the one you want. That wasn't one of the FCs. That's not what Spain needed.
Accuracy drops on those bursts on the side of Indonesia, on the side of Fuma. Not going to be enough. Still 3 FCs, 299s. That noob guy, Mejior McQueen, just shredding this map right now. Escapilio and Paladex are doing everything they can, but not enough.
Yeah. Spain gonna need an absolute collapse out of Indonesia to bring this one back, and it does not seem to be happening. Instead, Paladex finds a miss of his own, and that's definitely it.
Unfortunately, Spain not really able to find a solution on any of the tapping maps in this map pool. All 3 of them went to the side of Indonesia. Now it is a 4-1 lead. It is Spain's pick to come, though, but I'm starting to be a little bit concerned if tapping doesn't work. Like, one of the skill sets on paper that favored you has just completely backfired 3 times in a row. you got to start thinking outside the box and considering other maps. And that is a brilliant team score. Once again, like Indonesia with those really high team scores, the early stage consistency just being right on point for them.
I mean, shout outs to Scrupulio. I mean, he's performing as advertised. Highest accuracy FC in the lobby. But support's simply not there for this map, so gonna have to try a different angle. And not that there's even any tapping left in the pool, even if they wanted to go for it. So
yeah, if there was, I wouldn't go tapping if I were them.
I don't think they would, but yeah, all of these different angles still left up. None of the free mods been touched. None of the hard rocks have been touched.
Yeah, the thing about qualifiers results is that it's an indicator for sure, but you can't really rely only on that to find your picking strategy.
Yeah, everything can change depending on the day, change depending on the map pool. You can't say like last Nomad 1 would be necessarily an indicator of this Nomad 1, for example. I mean, especially this Nomad 1 because it's like a very jank, weird map for game map standards.
I'm thinking though that Nomad 1 might not be a terrible pick for Spain. It could potentially work out. I wouldn't be that surprised to see them go Nomad 1.
I mean, that's the kind of map I think you pick if you want to try to throw off your opponents, but instead we're going to be going for Hard Rock 2.
Oh, it's going to be my first time casting the Hard Rock 2 in this weekend. It has been very unpopular, like banned a lot and avoided a lot, but this time going right for it, and I enjoy this pick. I really like it. You're down.
Yeah, just change up the pace. You know, pick
gotta
something
shift it up,
that's
exactly.
completely different from what we've been playing.
Exactly.
So I see the vision with this one. This one is going to be some actually CS above 6.5. Very alt control focused map here.
Yeah, I expect we see a lot of roster changes. So one thing that does concern me is that so far in this match, Indonesia has been really maintaining the higher accuracies, and on that map, it's particularly going to show if you're not comfortable. So I really hope Spain does have 4 very comfortable players on the precision.
I mean, you know, a Scrupulio is going to be solid. I would also like to see, I think RO32 in. Yeah, there we go. Going to make his debut in this match.
And RO32 was actually their second highest performer in the qualifiers, so must be a reassuring presence to have in this lobby when you need it most. On the side of Indonesia, not many changes. Salt and Honey coming back. That noob guy playing his second map alongside Rexy's and Majiro McQueen, so pretty expected rosters on both sides. And it's do or die now for Spain, so I hope this pick works out for them. I mean, when you're 4-1 down, that's when you put on the carry pants and start the historical comeback. You would love to see it, right? Looks like we're going to be waiting on Red Seas just a little bit. Also, this is a very short map, so differences in comfort are going to show very rapidly in this type of map. Apparently, Rexy is struggling with a bit of lag.
All right, it does seem we have our rosters finalized. Spain now prepared to make possibly its last stand.
Is Fuma coming in instead of Rexy's?
I mean, that would make sense to me. I think Fuma's probably more comfortable on the precision.
And here we go. Maybe the last map of the match. This would have been, if this ends here, this would be far less, far more one-sided than you would expect to see, just looking at the seedings. So far,
Ooh.
Indonesia.
Initial break coming out of Omegli and Manolo.
And
Not a
Manolo
great
also
start for
struggling on the
Spain.
accuracy. No breaks to be found so far on the side of Indonesia. Quite a few accuracy drops. And look at those accuracies on top row for Spain, Escapilio, and especially Bayrichu. Manolo's going to drop once again, and Omegli as well, but the accuracy lead actually, the accuracy is still pushing lead in the side of Spain despite those 2 misses.
Yeah, I mean, Indonesia are all down at around that 95 range.
They're combo gaming. Manolo, unfortunately, struggling a lot. And Fuma finally a miss on the side of Indonesia, but Spain is going to need a little bit more. They're really just being carried by the accuracies right now, Spain, as Omegli finds another miss, but still, they're 2 FCs besting the 3 FCs on the side of Indonesia. Just combo gaming right now.
I mean, there is definitely a chance with these 2 FCs still being held, but they're going to need to see a lot more errors out of Indonesia.
Yeah, we're reaching the halfway, and still 3 FCs on the side of Indonesia. That moon guy, Major McQueen, Salt and Honey, impeccably getting through these patterns. And Mr. Pilio and Bayrichu are doing everything they can, but so far they need a bit of help from the rest of the teammates. It looks like Manolo has stabilized a little bit, despite dropping the accuracy on these patterns. It's about 200
Time is really ticking for Spain. If Indonesia are
out.
not going to find a miss very soon.
Fuma,
There's one
but
from
that's not the
Fuma.
one
That
you
wasn't
want.
one of the FCs.
Salt and
There's one
Honey
from
finally
Badoobie
side
Doobie.
raced.
But they probably need more time if they wanted to have any chance of bringing this one back. So it's looking
you
just
basically
about
need-
done.
Basically need the 2 FCs to drop right now, and even so, I don't think it would be enough. I think Indonesia just did enough, and we're going to get the final break point. Salt and Honey jump spots again is going to decrease. Scripulio and that new guy are
Ooh,
trading.
there's
I
a
think
break
that's it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I missed
Bayrichu
that.
is gonna miss right at the end, and that
I
is
missed
gonna
the
be it.
Scrupulio's miss there. It looked like the maybe was a potential, but
It was
alas, it's
close
not to
though.
be.
It was close, but unfortunately for Spain, just not enough. That has been the recurring theme in this match. Spain getting pretty solid team scores all around, but Indonesia being a step ahead on every single map, except from the first pick. That is gonna be it.
Yeah, they just
5-1.
had that one. They had that one hiccup, but then every moment after, they were here to play. So congratulations to Indonesia. They will advance into the winners round of 16. Spain not out of it yet. Keep an eye out on them, and losers, I imagine you'll probably not want to play against them.
Oh, yeah, Spain is looking
but-
like one of the stronger teams in the loser
Yeah, I
bracket.
mean, we saw some pretty solid scores. Just wasn't enough on the day. But-
And as a prize for the victory, Indonesia will get to play the United States next week. So be prepared for that.
That's sure to be some fun.
I mean, I hope the USA is watching this match pretty closely, because I would be concerned with the early stage consistency that Indonesia has been showing so far. Like, they have played really well.
All right, that'll be it for us for this match. Please do keep
Next
in
one.
mind, we're still taking donations for prize pool. If you want to support a country, you can buy a country banner, I believe. So, yeah, I think the links for that are in Twitch chat if you're interested.
I believe the next match will be in about 10 minutes, commentated by this one guy in Dio. So that will be it for now, but don't leave, as there are still a bunch of more interesting matches to watch, so stay tuned for these.